Defensive zone face-off win for the Warriors. LeDrew flips it to the line. Glove down there by McInnes, who lets go a long shot into the...
Re-up and all the season ticket holders, but it looks good.
Drury trying to steal that down in the corner. He'll lose that one to Ben Miller, who finesses it out to the center circle. Here's Sam LeDrew trying to throw it onto the near side for Tyler Graham. That's intercepted by Keith McInnes. McInnes loses it to Graham in the corner. There's a double team hit. Davide Patella onto the Lucy. Flips it ahead for Fitzpatrick. Here's Fitzpatrick down the left wing into the attacking zone. Takes a long shot wide on the glove side. Near for Yellowagga. Down low Fitzpatrick, who's pinned up by Mona Kagan. Yellowagga takes a bump from Hudson Miller as well. Now it's LeDrew around to the near side. Half wall Jackson Kierkostas takes the bump from Patella. LeDrew onto the far side for Hogue, fresh off the bench. Hogue down the right wing wall. Drops it back. Kierkostas on goal. Stick save made by Zahara. His first taste of rubber tonight. Now it's Davide Patella, former Merritt Centennial. Wing chips that in past Mona Kagan. Hogue into the corner to collect. He'll go around to the half wall. Kierkostas. Kierkostas high off the glass, glove down at the line by Siciliano. That'll be knocked back away by Kierkostas. Skates after it onto the far side against Rosensteel. Rosensteel down the wall. Pearson into the slot. Siciliano back onto the far side. Rosensteel backhander pad save. Gauthier. Now it's Podwarny again. Gets bumped off that puck. Yellowagga from the line lets it go. Blocked and deflected wide in front of the net. Siciliano trying to center. That one's knocked aside by a Warrior. Near side is Kierkostas out to center. He'll chip that in on goal. Stopped up by Zahara. He'll sweep that away for Yellowagga. Bandits trying to go back in transition. Rosensteel to center for Good. Good's pass will be knocked down by Tyler Graham, but Good's able to recover and work it into the zone. After it is Rosensteel. He's going to stumble. Nearly got the... Came from the Humboldt Broncos of the SJHL. Byer has that knocked off his stick by Kierkostas. Loose for Pretty, who lifts it out to center. Here's Free onto the near side, Yellowagga. He fires it down low. Warriors trying to collect in their own zone. It's intercepted. Lashinsky in front for Pearson. He fires wide on the glove side. Bandits keep that in at the line. Yellowagga dumps it onto the far side. Free after it behind the goal. Into the corner for Pearson. He'll get double teamed by Lofgren and Farrell. Near side Alonzo. They'll get it as far as the blue line before Lashinsky takes it back for Brooks. Byer up the left wing. Fires down low. Hard hit between Podwarny and Byer. The person who passed it to Pearson was McInnes. Here's Yellowagga after the face-off win. He'll fire it down low from the red line. Warriors will need to try to find a way to answer back here, and they'd like to do it before the media timeout. Here's Ben Miller from neutral territory. He'll chip and charge after that one. And face-off win for Parker Lalonde. Here's Yellowagga at the point. Yellowagga onto the near side, Siciliano. Right circle. Centering pass. Tipped on goal. They score. Face-off win for Parker Lalonde. Here's Yellowagga at the point. Yellowagga onto the near side, Siciliano. Right circle. Centering pass. Tipped on goal. They score. Graham and that Warriors power, or penalty kill rather. No, power play. I was right. As didn't look like much of a power play until they got that shot on goal. But you have Zahara, who hasn't faced a lot of shots on goal so far. Just fire it on him. It might handcuff him. He's not quote-unquote into the game. Here's Drapeau on the near side corner, back behind his own goal for Hudson Miller. Penalties expired. McInnes is back onto the ice. Warriors are 0 for 1 with the man advantage. Drapeau, D-to-D, Hudson Miller. Miller ahead for Tyler Pretty. He'll be able to tip that one in from neutral territory. Nate Yellowagga after it in the near corner. He's hit by Logan Flint. Pretty will hit his man as well. Rosensteel falls down. Flint can't keep it in at the line. Now it's Pretty down the wall for Oakenfull, but Yellowagga gets there. D-to-D for Drew Mackey. Mackey looking for Dufour at center. That'll be sticked aside by Pretty. Dufour back onto it on the near side. Him, his dad Dale, and everybody watching back home in Abbotsford. A great moment for the entire Pretty family. Not to mention his brother Ryan, who I also got to call back in Fraser Valley.
What a time to get a goal, I'll tell you. That gives a little bit of life to the fans. We're talking about oxygen in the room, and I'll tell you, it really helps.
Gauthier behind his goal to stop up that dump in. He finds Hogue in the far corner. Throws that up the wing. Held in at the line by Ethan Byer. He walks the blue, throws it into the far corner. Hogue plays that away from Bibby. Now it's Tyler Graham. His clearing attempt is knocked down. Bibby, far side Peluso, left circle, shoots over top of the net on the stick side. Byer keeps that puck in. Hogue collects behind his own goal, high off the glass. Glove down by Yellowagga. Now it's Simon Hogue. Hogue throws it over to the open wing as his teammates go for a change. Byer fires it in on goal, stopped by Goche, and he'll drag that puck in to cover for the whistle. 30 seconds, have to be careful. Bibby steals, he's in. Bibby cuts to the net, and a great save by Goche. He's down after getting a bit of a collision there from Bibby. Now it's Pearson on the far side. Pearson, he's got Siciliano coming down the gut, couldn't feed him a pass. Now it's Siciliano on the far side. Lofgren's got him tangled up. Ian Alonso taken down by Siciliano. Siciliano's got a hang on, or a hold of him there. Right in front of the referee, there was no call. Now it's Lofgren to center for Graham, hooked back for Elias Colgren. That puck will just roll away from him, and the Bandits regain possession.
I call that a New York City mugging behind the net there. That's like a Central Park mugging.
Warriors nearly were able to knock down a clearing attempt up the gut. Now it's Peluso back the other way. Sharp angle shot, pad save made by Goche. Chance for one more rush here on this power play. McCrane, a nice little spin move around Siciliano, but he blows a tire in the process. Now that puck fired off the near glass by Yellowagga down the ice, and that's pretty well going to do it for this Warriors power play as they fall to it down the near side short glass. Around on the far side, half wall is Hudson Miller. Has his stick taken away in the play. Graham works it behind his own goal for Nathan Drapeau. Drapeau on the far side. Or pardon me, that's Miller and Good over there on the far side. Those two got tangled up. Now there's a mass of humanity below the goal line. Puck comes back to the point, Yellowagga. D Byer, top of the right circle. He'll shimmy shake, let's go a shot, turned aside by Goche, and he'll cover up the loose puck. Wasn't even on the ice, but he still gets a point on the play. Here's Elias Colgren working the puck out of his own zone, throws it onto the far side for Oakenfold. That goes in off of Byer, so there's no offside on the play. Now Lalonde will force it out the second time around, loose for Byer. Byer up the right wing, stick check by Macrina. Now it's Elias Colgren up the left wing for Macrina. Byer does a good job to come back and intercept that one. Yellowagga up to center for Peluso, short pass for Bibby. Bibby across the line, sent into the wall by Lofgren. Lofgren around to the far point, held in by Yellowagga. Yellowagga walks the line, let's go a shot through traffic off the... So we'll have to wait to see who registers the assists on it.
Scored by number 15, Sam Ledrew.
So they're going to credit this to Ledrew. That was Graham's goal. Here's Bibby walking in, shooting. Goal to Ledrew here. Ledrew from Ben Miller and Nathan Drapeau. It's the first of the postseason. Face-off win for Rosensteel. Warriors are going to regain it though. Ho can't clear. Good knocks that one down, goes high off the glass. Oakenfold takes that one out of the circle, goes near side Macrina. Joey Macrina up the red line, chips that down the near side boards. Yellowagga into the corner to control for Brooks, behind the net for Byer. Cleared to the half wall, knocked down by Monick Hagen. Into the corner for Colgren. Colgren sweeps it behind the net for Carter Oakenfold. Around to the near side half wall, it's Joey Macrina. Macrina works his way up to the point, he'll walk the line. Finds Flint fresh off the bench. Logan Flint takes a cross check from Matisse Dufour, no call. Nate Yellowagga back the other way for the Bandits. Gains the red line, fires down low. Hudson Miller behind Tyler Graham against Cooper Pearson. Here's Ledrew back to the point for Drapeau. A long shot goes just wide. Near side, Hudson Miller. Down low, Ben Miller tips it to the front of the net, nobody home. It's Matisse Dufour back the other way for the Brooks Bandits. Dufour gains the blue line on the left wing. Button hooks there at the ringette line. He's poke checked by Hudson Miller. Byer holds the zone. Onto the far side, Pearson. He chops it behind the net for Mikhail Lashinsky. Lashinsky tries the center, blocked by Graham before it gets to Dufour. Now it's Joey Macrina, far side half wall. Ledrew, he'll lift that one into the air. Surprisingly doesn't hit the scoreboard.
It was close.
It was close. Byer gets it out to center. Hogue will fire that one back into the attacking end. Matisse Dufour bumps it behind his own goal for Nate Yellowagga. Sends that out to center for Lashinsky. Far side Dufour. Can't go after it as he was offside. Now he can tag up. Forced out by Macrina. Poked ahead by Colgren. Here's Elias Colgren down the left wing. He's got Oakenfold going to the front, but he can't play off hockey.
Well, you know what? It's a little more lenient, I know, but it is just is. It's playoff hockey.
Simon Hogue will skate back into his own zone to collect following a Brooks clear. 28 seconds left in the power play. Warriors looking to avoid falling to 0 for 3 with the man advantage. Here's Kier Costas. Hooks it back for Ledrew. Onto the far side. He'll find Sadowski, who just holds that puck in. Tries to go down the wall. Intercepted by Siciliano. He'll get it out as far as center. Kier Costas is back onto it there. Chance for one more rush for the Warriors, but Lalonde will clear that one down the length of the ice, and that will do it for this Warriors power play. They're 0 for 3 with the man advantage. Ledrew couldn't contain that puck. Here's Bibby, fresh out of the box. Fires that in on goal, blocked away by Gauthier.
A hit on the bench.
Yeah, so it would be 4-on-4 for 57 seconds. Still 31 seconds left in this period. Boy, if you could get one on this 4-on-4 before the end of the period, that would be a real nice one to get here, as Lalonde and Free will come out with Byer and Yellowagga.
Would like to see Lalonde break through here. Lalonde's had some tough assignments in this series. Nathan Free's got to retrieve this puck in his own end. Free with speed. 20 seconds in the period. Right wing to Parker Lalonde. Behind the net. And forced it back to the point. Tried to wrap around. Ran out of room. Yellowagga holds it in. Byer to Lalonde. Scores! First of the series for Parker Lalonde. Deflects a pass from Ethan Byer. Beats Gauthier. The Bandits are back on top. It's 3-2 Brooks.
You just had that feeling. It was, Lalonde was due, and every time we seem to bark his name out when he's due, he maybe hears us and come through. But nice tip and a real nice recollect. And I thought, Yellowagga does a nice job, throws it over to Ethan Byer, and a great little pass and tip. And, both these goaltenders, it's been pretty tough to beat them direct shooting. So
Puck's loose down low. Rosensteel behind the net, trying to spit away from Hudson Miller. Puck will come loose onto the near side. It's Nathan Drapeau, and he'll lift that out to center ice. After it's going to be Sam Ledrew. Yellowagga's there. Up for Matisse Dufour. Far side, Siciliano. He sidesteps Tyler Graham into across the line. Comes Siciliano. Tries to find the man coming down the gut. Good, turned over to Graham. Here's Graham into the attacking end. Graham finds the trailer. Ledrew, he shoots. It's blocked. Nate Yellowagga trying to work it back the other way. Gets it out to center for Rosensteel. Rosensteel backhands that one down the wall, goes right to Mo. Also collided with Tyler Graham. Then he takes down Graham. The crowd wants a call. They're not going to get it. Philip Monikagan chipping and charging after that one against Yellowagga. Down there 1-on-2. He's tripped, no call. Back of the line is Simon Hogue. Hogue through traffic, swallowed up. And face-off win for Kier Costas. Here's Podwarny. Goes back to the line for Farrell. He'll shove that right back down the wall. After it in the far corner is going to be Keith McInnes. He'll turn it over to Kier Costas. Podwarny trying to go down the wall for Alonso in the corner. That's going to be lifted up into the air by McInnes. Knocked down by Podwarny. Lofgren dumps down low. Yellowagga after it behind his own net. Throws it over to the far side, and that puck comes out of the zone. Lofgren back into his own end to get away from Bibby. Axel Lofgren skates it onto the near side. Stick check by Bibby. Now it's Alonso. Back for Farrell. Farrell forward for Kierkegaard. He'll go into the near corner. Drapeau trying to go ahead for Kierkegaard. He was tangled up with Yellowagga. Zahara around to the far side. Alonso's going to get there first. Goes off his skate. We are knotted up at 3 apiece in game 3. Simon Hogue banks it out to center, looking for Oakenfold. He'll tip that puck in from the blue line. Yellowagga sweeps behind the goal, turns it over to Oakenfold. Back to the point, Simon Hogue. D-to-D, Monikagan, left circle. Monikagan shoots, save made, rebounds loose. Colgren can't find it. Monikagan again. Half wall, Oakenfold around to the far side, trying to find Tyler Pretty. He was tangled up with Rosensteel. Now Oakenfold nearly went knee on knee there with Yellowagga. Both men are okay. Davide Patella. A line change. Back to play is going to be Simon Hogue. Hogue ahead for Oakenfold. That'll go off a Bandit, so there's no icing on the play. 4:20 left in the third period. A 3-3 tie. Bibby, his pass will be knocked down by Macrina. Loose for Oakenfold. Onto the right wing, Macrina with speed. Here's Joey Macrina in front for Oakenfold. What a right toe save made by Zahara. Chance in front. Final minute of the third. A 4-4 tie here at Royal LePage Place in West Kelowna. Ian Alonso high off the glass out to center. Yellowagga's there. D-to-D Siciliano. Siciliano across the line. He finds Lalonde, who just sidesteps Colgren. Lalonde centers. Nobody home. Now it's Peluso on the far side. His long shot. Off the shoulder of Goche and wide of the net. Siciliano again. Now it's Lofgren, high off the glass out to center ice. 15 seconds left in the third. D Peluso. Back to the near side, Siciliano. Fires down low. 5 seconds left in the third. There's Luke Bibby down low. He's tangled up there with Jack Farrell to go down the length of the ice. Not quite enough on it for an icing as Farrell goes back to touch. Farrell sidestepping Lalonde. Onto the right wing, it's Ian Alonso. Alonso across the line. Alonso trying to chip that one in on goal and go after it, but that'll go on top. Offensive zone win for Podwarny, pardon me. Alonso went back to the line for Lofgren. He couldn't hold it in. Axel Lofgren stretches it ahead for Podwarny. He'll tip that puck into the zone, but McInnes is there for the Bandits. Keith McInnes behind his own goal. He opened the scoring in this one. Larks it onto the far side for Yellow Aga. Pinned up by Alonso. Pearson in there to try to dig it loose. It comes back out for McInnes. McInnes up the right wing for Nathan Free. He's somebody you have to be worried about if you're a Warriors fan. Free in for Pearson and a great right shoulder save. Face-off win for Oakenfold. Jumping ahead is going to be Cooper Pearson. He'll chop that one behind the goal. After it on the far corner is Patella. Patella pinned up there by Oakenfold. Free will get it loose as well. Patella back to the far point for Yellow Aga. He can't hold it in at the line. Yellow Aga back into his own zone to collect the loose puck. Nate Yellow Aga stops up behind his own goal. Shots are 39-30 in favor of the Bandits. A 4-4 tie here in overtime of Game 3. Yellow Aga starts it back the other way. Up the left wing, Cooper Pearson. Hudson Miller onto the ice. That is a great sign for West Kelowna after he took a puck in the face in the third. Free steal, stopped up by Miller. Colgren lifts it to the line, gloved down by Yellow Aga. He throws D Byer, top of the right circle. He shoots, blocker save, Goche. Nathan Free up to the line, Yellow Aga. Trying to shove that down low, intercepted. Here's Elias Colgren. Colgren back the other way. Colgren across the line. Takes the shot from the near or far side half wall, glove down by Zahara. Byer on the backhand. He'll lift that down the ice. Not quite enough juice on it for an icing.